Hello, welcome to Run Testers. My name's Nick, and this is our comparison of the Nike Vomero Plus and the Asics Megablast. The Megablast and the Vomero Plus are two max stack training shoes that have come out with a lot of hype this year. They're two really excellent shoes, I would say. I've really loved running in both of them, and while they do have slightly different purposes, I would say lots of runners will be interested in the differences between them and exactly how they break down and where they might fit in a running rotation, that kind of thing. So I thought it's worth comparing the two of them with this video. The Vomero Plus is the cheaper of the two shoes. It comes in at £155 or $180. The Megablast is a very expensive shoe. It's £210 or $225. The Megablast is also a lot lighter. It's 241 grams or 8.5 ounces in a UK 9, which is a US 10. The Vomero Plus is 300 grams or 10.6 ounces in the same size. You've got an 8mm drop on the Megablast and a 10mm drop on the Vomero Plus, and then they are quite similar in stack height. The Megablast is 46mm at the heel, 38 at the forefoot, and the Nike is 45mm at the heel, 35 at the forefoot. So even though the Nike is actually the slightly lower stack shoe, the Megablast is considerably lighter. And then with the Megablast, you've got a woven mesh upper with a little bit of padding around the back of the shoe, not much on the tongue. It's a pretty lightweight upper all round. You've got a midsole made from Asics' FF Turbo Squared foam, which is the bounciest, most resilient foam in the brand's range. It's a very impressive material that gives a lot of energy return and is also very lightweight, as you can tell by the high stack of the shoe and its low weight. Then you've got an Asics grip outsole with fairly minimal coverage, I would say. Like the key impact areas on the heel and forefoot are covered, but there's a lot of exposed foam on the bottom of the Megablast. Then with the Nike Vomero Plus, you've got an engineered mesh upper. It's a much more padded and thick upper than the one on the Megablast in general. There's lots more padding on the tongue and the collar, and around the front of the shoe, it's also just a thicker material. It's a shoe much more designed for comfort. And then in the midsole, you've got a big old stack of Nike's Zoom X foam. This is a very springy and bouncy foam that's a bit softer than the stuff on the Megablast. And at the back of the shoe, your foot sits quite deeply into sidewalls of foam to create some more stability at the back of the shoe, given how high the midsole stack is on the Vomero Plus. And then you've got a fuller outsole on the Nike Vomero Plus. Like nearly all the bottom of the shoe is covered with a high abrasion rubber. So in terms of durability, that might give it a little bit of edge on the Megablast, but both of them have been holding up very well for me, I will say, and both have gripped pretty well for me as well. So it comes to the fit of the two shoes. I've got my normal size in both, which is a UK 9. That's a US 10 for Asics and Nike, and I've got a really good fit. It's the same size I use across both of these brands' ranges, and I've got a good amount of room around the toes, good hold around the heel and midfoot. I've not had any concerns with the fit of either of these two shoes, I would say. The Megablast has a more lightweight upper for sure, though. It's a bit more breathable. If you're always running in the heat, it will be probably slightly preferable maybe to the more padded upper you have on the Nike, but that hasn't been a problem for me in the UK, and it is a more comfortable upper in terms of just slipping it on. You get that padded, luxurious feel at the back of the shoe, but I do think the Nike will run a little bit hot if you are, like I say, always running in hot conditions. Fine for me, and I would stick to your normal size in general with both of these shoes. On to the run test, and the Vomero Plus and the Asics Megablast are two shoes that I used a lot over the past couple of months during marathon training. I've done about 160 kilometers in the Megablast, about 120 kilometers in the Nike Vomero Plus. I've used them both for a lot of training runs. There is a bit of overlap, but the Megablast I've used for a wider range of runs for sure. It is a bit more of an all-rounder than the Vomero Plus, which I've mostly used for easy runs with the occasional easy to steady progression run, a little bit of tempo work, that kind of thing. So Nike is a shoe that is geared a bit more towards that easy stuff. It's a heavier shoe for sure, and it has a more cushioned feel than the Megablast, despite having the slightly lower stack height on paper. It's got a slightly softer feel, more protective feel, and the ride's a bit more relaxed. You do have quite a smooth rocker that moves you onto your forefoot, but it's not really thrusting you forward or delivering such a high amount of energy return as you get on the Megablast, or not in the same way anyway. With the Nike, you get a bit more sink and bounce and comfort and fun, but it's not quite as speedy in rolling you from heel to toe as the Megablast. It's been a really stable shoe for me. I would say in all my testing, the Vomero Plus, I've been very happy running on it without any concerns about stability. I've done long runs in it, and I have gone through the gears a bit with it. Like, it does have a pretty versatile design for such a highly cushioned shoe that is more built for protection and comfort. The foam in the midsole is very bouncy, and as you start to increase your pace, it gets even bouncier, I would say, that Zoom X midsole. You definitely can roll through tempo runs and that kind of thing in the Vomero Plus. If you're a one shoe runner who wants a really cushioned shoe, I think this is one of the best options on the market for that, because it does have a lot of bounce whilst being extremely comfortable for more easy and relaxed runs. So the Megablast, you've got a slightly firmer shoe and a shoe that is built a bit more for speed, and it does feel better at speed than the Nike. You've got a faster transition. It's almost a slightly flatter transition in that I don't think I sink into the foam as much at the back of the Megablast. It's not as soft there as the Nike is, and you get pushed onto that forefoot, and then this FF Turbo Squared foam really does deliver a lot of energy return. It's a resilient foam and you get bounce along at a fast pace, but it is still soft, comfortable and pretty stable. You've got a really wide base here on the Megablast, and it has been very fun for me for easy runs, relaxed runs, but then has, I think, a bit more of an extra gear than the Vomero Plus, partly because it's so much lighter, but also because the geometry of the shoe pushes you forward a bit faster and you get a bit more punch off the toes. So the Megablast is definitely a genuine all-round for me. This is a shoe that you can use for every kind of run and even racing. It really is, very impressive. It's really comfortable, really stable and really fast. The Vomero Plus is less so, but it would be a good all-rounder for some runners, I would say. Like if you are someone who just prefers a more cushioned shoe in general, if you're a newer runner, that kind of thing, I think you're going to get a more comfortable, protective ride from the Vomero Plus that you get from the Megablast, and maybe it's a touch more stable as well, and it still does have a bit of pace if you're going to start using it for races. I would say on both shoes, having done quite a lot of running in both of them, the durability is looking really good as well. The midsoles are still really bouncy, really responsive. They haven't lost any of their spark yet, and the outsole is looking good as well. Even on the Megablast, which has quite a lot of exposed foam, haven't seen any problems with that ripping up or anything yet. So they're expensive shoes, both of these, particularly the Megablast, but I do think you're going to get a lot of miles out of them, and they'll be happy miles because they're both a lot of fun to run in. Did do a short run in both shoes at the same time, and they both give you a lot of bounce, that's for sure. These are really bouncy shoes, really fun shoes to run in. Like I said, I think the Megablast is that bit faster and pushing you onto your toes. Feels a bit flatter coming off the back of the shoe actually, whereas the Nike, you do get a bit more of a sink in, and it's a slightly slower and more relaxed roll onto the toes, but you still get lots of bounce and energy off the toes when you are running in the Nike, but it doesn't feel like it's got quite as much get up and go as the Megablast, as it is a shoe that is built much more purely for comfort, whereas the Megablast definitely has a lot of speed in its design. On to the verdict, and for me, when it comes to picking between the Megablast and the Vomero Plus, I think almost they are shoes that could very happily coexist within a rotation, with the Nike picking up a lot of your easy miles and long miles, the Megablast being used more as a specific speed trainer, but there is a bit of overlap there, and I think the Megablast being such a good all-rounder makes it the better pick for sure if that is what you're after. Like you are getting one shoe to do absolutely everything in, particularly to look at racing and that kind of thing. The Megablast has more versatility than the Nike. They're both really cushioned shoes, but the Megablast is lighter, more aggressive, more responsive and better at speed, and it is still very comfortable and stable for easy runs, I would say. The Vomero Plus is one of the best pure cushion shoes on the market. It's probably the best cushion shoe on the market for me, in being the most fun shoe, I think, to go and do your easy runs in, your long runs, your daily training. It's protective and comfortable, but it's not just that. It really does have a lot of bounce and fun in it to make it more enjoyable at those easy paces and give it a bit more versatility at faster ones as well. So as someone who does have a running shoe rotation, I think I'd be more likely to buy the Vomero Plus because it slips in so well into a rotation as your cushion shoe, and then I'd probably get a cheaper dedicated speed shoe to go alongside it rather than the Megablast, which is a really good versatile shoe, but maybe that would hurt it in the eyes of people who are looking at building out a rotation and want a very specific cushion shoe like the Vomero Plus, and then a more dedicated speed shoe, plated trainer, or something like the Adidas Evo SL to use as their speed shoe. So if you're a one shoe runner, Megablast does that job better. If you're looking at a rotation, the Vomero Plus would be the first one of these two I'd add to it. Could, though, look at getting both of them within the same rotation. I'd say if you're a newer runner or someone who prefers just more cushioned, relaxed shoes in general, I'd get the Vomero Plus, even if you're looking for an all-rounder. I think it's a really good shoe for that job and is a fair bit cheaper than the Megablast. As ever, the price doesn't help the Megablast in this comparison or in any comparison. It just makes it hard for you to recommend, because even if you are building out a rotation and want both of these shoes, you can get fantastic alternatives to the Megablast for less. Whereas the Vomero Plus is pretty well priced, especially here in the UK, if you are looking at these high-end cushion shoes. So it is one I think it's easier to pick up, and it is a shoe that I would pick up for my own rotation and starting it from scratch, whereas I couldn't say I would do that with the Megablast because I just wouldn't want to spend that much money on that shoe if you're building out a rotation. However, the Megablast I do think is the best all-rounder on the market now. I think you're going to get a lot of value out of it in terms of how incredibly versatile it is, but also its longevity. I do think it's going to be a very durable shoe, so it is a shoe that I just love running in. I think it's a fantastic shoe, and if the price was a bit lower, I'd be recommending it in pretty much every video, but because the price is so high, it is a bit harder to recommend. So yeah, that said, if you are looking for an all-rounder, get the Megablast. Vomero Plus is more of a pure cushion shoe and a very good one to add to your rotation. That's a comparison of the Asics Megablast and the Nike Vomero Plus. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Please like, subscribe, ring the little bell, and we'll see you next time.